Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Rocky Kids from Rocky Mountain Church. Oh, guys, wasn't it so good to get together and see each other last week? It was so fun to be able to be outside where we could run and play safely. And do you remember the relay that we had? Wasn't that so fun where you guys started at one end and you ran through the cones and then you got to the end and there was a bottle of hand sanitizer and you punched it and then you cleaned your hands and then you ran back to the starting line and got to push a button that said, I won. So wasn't that so fun? And then the water balloons, they were kind of crazy too. I hope you didn't get too wet. And then when we went up on that hill and Anna played some music for us and everybody got to wiggle and dance. Some of you guys have some good moves, I'm going to tell you that. Well, I hope to see you today live and in person at Rocky Mountain Church at 10:30. And I'm just going to review some things real quick that we always need to remember in Sunday school. The first thing I want to remind you of is that you are welcome back to class. We cannot wait to see you again. Now, in Sunday school, one of the most important things, and not just in Sunday school, but in everyday life, what do we need to do? We need to be kind to one another. You need to be kind to your family members and to your friends and to everybody at Sunday school. When we learn about God, it reminds us that we can be dreamers. And with God's help, we can do anything. We can be inventors. We can be creators. We can be givers. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, because when we think of giving, we think of putting money in the collection plate or in our little box that we have in Sunday school that helps the kids in India. Well, did you know it doesn't have to be money? It can be time. And when you give your time to Christ, one of the best ways to do it is to take your time to tell others about Jesus. Now, you may remember before Jesus ascended into heaven, the last message that he left for us was to go and tell others about Jesus. Well, in today's story, we're going to meet this guy, and in the beginning of the story, y'all, he was mean. He was not kind, like we just talked about. He was really mean, and his name was Saul. Now, Saul did not believe in Jesus. He did not like Jesus, and he didn't like anybody who followed Jesus. And we're going to learn that sometimes he wanted to even put people in jail just because they believed in Jesus. Can you imagine? Well, let's find out what happened to Saul. Today's lesson, of course, is found in our beginner's Bible, and it's called A Changed Man. Now look at him. That's Saul, and you see how angry he is? He looks mean, doesn't he? Well, here we go. Saul did not like Jesus' followers. He was on his way to put some of them in jail just because they believed in Jesus. But you know what happened? He's on his way walking down the road, and suddenly, out of nowhere, this bright light flashed around him. I guess it must have been kind of like lightning, and he just fell to the ground. And a loud voice came out of heaven and said, Saul, why are you against me? Why are you telling people bad things about me? And oh my gosh, Saul, you can imagine you're walking down the road and this bright light comes and a voice from heaven talking to you. Wouldn't that scare you? Well, of course it would. And so Saul was scared and he cried out, Who are you? Who are you? And you know what happened? The voice came back down out of the sky and it said, I am Jesus, the one you are against. And so see, there he is. Now, when Saul got ready to get up, he couldn't see. He had just become blind, like he couldn't open his eyes to see anything. And someone told him, or Jesus told him actually, to go to the city of Damascus, and when he got there, he would be told what to do. Well, there were some other guys traveling with Saul, and so they led him into the city of Damascus. And Jesus had also appeared to a man named Ananias, and Jesus led Ananias to Saul. Ananias laid his hands on Saul and said, Jesus sent me to you. You may see again. Be filled with the Holy Spirit. And immediately y'all Saul could see. Then Ananias baptized him. After this, God changed Saul's name to Paul. He was a new man, and sometimes back in Bible stories, particularly back in the Old Testament, God saw fit to change people's names so that their new name would reflect more accurately that they were a believer and a follower of God. And so in this case, God changed Saul's name to Paul and made him a new man. And all of a sudden, instead of hating Jesus' followers, he loved them, and he became a follower too. Now, as you get older and learn more about the Bible, you're going to find out that Paul was one of the most important people in biblical times. He was one of the ones that started churches that we're able to come to even today. So he believed in God, and he told others about God. Now that leads me to our memory verse today that says, go tell others about Jesus. Now that one's going to be pretty easy to learn. And if you're at Rocky Kids Live, I'm going to have it up on the whiteboard, kind of like we used to do in Sunday school, and you'll get to line up and come and say your memory verse. So it says, go tell others about Jesus. Now, you may not be able to get in a car and go to Loveland or Longmont or Denver and tell others about Jesus, but you can tell your friends. If you see somebody on the playground, you can tell them about Jesus. Hasn't Jesus been so good to you? So you can share some of those stories. And you know what you can do? Oh, guys, I'm so excited about this. Miss Anna just announced it this morning. We're going to have Bible school. Not next week, but the following week, August 3rd through the 10th. It's going to be in the evenings, just like it was last year, from 6 to 8 o'clock. And it's going to be, most of it's going to be outside, so we won't have to wear our mask. And it's going to be about some sports champions, I think. I'm not real sure about that. Miss Anna is going to be coming forward with all the details before long. So in this situation, you can go and not only tell others about Jesus, you can go and tell them about Vacation Bible School and invite them to come with you. It's going to be so fun. So guys, I hope to see you at 10:30 in church. If not, I hope you enjoyed this story here on YouTube, and I can't wait to see you again. We're getting there, guys, and every Sunday is going to be bigger and better than the one before. So just remember, Miss Joy loves you so much, and I can't wait to see you and give you a hug. Mwah! Bye-bye.